you published the book, and a lot of authors don't realize that your book is also a business. And I've done my little Instagram searches. I've done my website. You have some media. You have some PR. You've got some really talent in the creative flow of how you show up, whether it's digital art, whether it's your box company that you created. I'd love to know how all of this then emerged, that next level of entrepreneurship and service through ministry.
It's funny because I was actually going through a box of my old stuff when I was in elementary school the other day, and there was this thing like the American Girl Moneymaker. I don't know if you have that, but it was like
I definitely love American Girl.
It was like all these different ways to make money during the summer, and I just loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do a bee company, and then I'm going to make lemonade, and I'm going to do all these things. So I've always had this like entrepreneurial heart, but as I've put ministry as far as boldly proclaiming the gospel every chance I get. That's my ministry. I don't have a name. I don't have like a LLC. I don't have any of that. I will just boldly proclaim his faithfulness day in and day out, however I can. And that has changed a little bit because it's had to shift from like entrepreneurial and opportunity and then like doing things that actually benefit others. And not for a dollar, but actually for the kingdom advancement. And so I think for me, being able to, like, I love boutique things. I love putting together items. I love helping, these ministries that rescue and rehabilitate survivors of human trafficking. Like, I love just being invested and having this, like, purpose and with your church. And there's so many avenues, right? And so I find now, it's hard for me to quote unquote niche down.
Yeah.
You know how that's like the thing, like you do the one thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna break up with that because that will never be me. I will never be just a mom or just an author. Like I want to go where the Lord wants me to go. And I don't need a title. I don't need to even talk about it. I'm just gonna do it. And if everybody wants to come along for the ride and read my book or buy a joy box, like fantastic, or help out with ministries, great. But I don't know. I see it so there's like this Christian women's author world that is so interesting to me that I've been having to like almost like break down and figure out, okay, is there even a seat at that table for me? And do I even want that? Because I don't want to strive towards things that aren't making a difference, and I don't want to strive towards something that's not mine. So I'm in a weird place right now.
No, that's really powerful. I'm going to say it again. I don't want to strive for not making a difference, and I also don't want to strive for things that aren't mine. Because we obviously know that while social media has its positives and we can connect in places like that with people across the globe, there's also that huge element of comparison. And having access isn't always a good thing unless you have access to the Lord. And so understanding that his spiritual eyes, his spiritual lens allows us to go into places like that and see, like, does my heart connect? Does my spirit connect? Do I align with said situation? And oftentimes, and we talked about this before we even got on camera, sometimes our spirits can be manipulated because of the posture of how somebody else shows up, or their good branding, or their great messaging, or the niche that they created, or the Facebook ad that they'd spent money on, or, so on, the t-shirt line that they generated. I found out recently that there's a Christian clothing company that's not Christian, but they found out that Christians will buy taglined verses and they are not in their faith. And I was like, oh, that's just wrong. That's just terrible.
Okay, what?
Seriously, though. I mean, think about it. Even there's now coffee houses that are now presenting themselves to churches as, I'll come in and I'll put this coffee house in because that's the cool new trendy thing in churches. They're not walking in their faith. They're not spirit-led. And churches are allowing it to happen because they get to make more money. And so there is like so much that can happen. So when you said that, I'm like, girl, I am on the same page. Like, this is a really important conversation.
And I think, yes, we say social media can be great. I mean, look what we're doing. Look how we connected. Yes, God can use it. But you don't see fruit on social media.
Come on.
You don't. Like you can see all the things, you can see your highlight reel. You can even post how sad you are
Yeah.
and how depressed you are and how God is doing so many things in your life because blah, blah, blah. Like you can post the heart. I do it. Okay. So
Yep.
I'm not ratting out anybody,
Yeah.
but you can be real. You can be authentic. You can showcase the highs and the lows, but you cannot prove your faith and show fruit on social media. And so that's when you have got to have discernment with people that you follow.
Yeah.
You've got to have discernment with even the churches that you walk into, because they might look real good on Instagram and highlight some real great reels, but then you get in there and the teaching's like, where's the Bible?
Yes. Yes.
You know, and we're so after the like, I don't know, just the visibility instead of the invisible obedience that no one needs to see, because it's you and God on Judgment Day, not you and all these people who think you're cool.
It's so true. And I've been stuck in the element too at times where I'm like, I'll look and be like, oh, how many views did that get? Right. And I'm like, oh, why do I do that? Stop doing that. And I've had to go into fasting from it, specifically because these things are more addicting than a lot of the addictions that people will raise their hands to. And so it's critical for us. I want to be addicted to the word. I want to be addicted to Jesus in the best way possible, because if that's where my like flow comes from, there is no denying that we are going to breathe life with our words and our actions, and discernment wouldn't be a problem. But honestly, discernment is one thing that I've had to pray over so much. I've gotten stuck in so many sticky situations because of it, specifically in the business realm. And I've had to go to friends and be like, hey, why didn't you tell me that there was a red flag in your spirit? They're like, oh, well, I trust you. I feel like you know God. I feel like you have a good discerning spirit. And I'm like, hello, like we are a body for a reason. I am not going to lean my right arm on the stove and my left arm isn't going to tell me. My left arm's going to say, whoa, that was hot, right? And so I have been very vocal with the people that I trust and have discerned over their fruit, bearing witness to their fruit for years. Hey, I need your wisdom sometimes. Sometimes I'm moving so fast that I need someone to be like, hey, guess what? You're going to head towards that tree and you're going to run right into it. And because I'm not paying attention, I'm going to get lost, or the person that I invite into said scenario. And so I feel like what often can happen, especially in the digital world, entrepreneurial world, author world even, and it goes back to what you said, is we can get so self-centered in what even we're doing for God that is good, right? What we're even, God has told us that we've been spoken into, that we're activated on, that he's like, hey, remember you're a body of Christ. Hey, remember I call you all the church. Hey, remember you're all my chosen children. And so that service heart allows us to then take that wide perspective on, hey, what's going on here? How can I be of service? And what does that look like? It will change the trajectory of your business. It really will.
Yep.